Whew. Peace, 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 peace. It's a beautiful Friday. It's raining right now, but it's still beautiful. I'm about to give me something to drink. Be right back. Oh man, it's oh man, it's going down. Oh wait, oh wait, peace, 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 peace. Oh man, it's a beautiful Friday. I'm feeling good right now. Peace, peace, peace. Islam. Assalamu alaikum. Hola. Jambo. Ni hao. I think I got everything. What's happening? Um, Before I get started, this, the topic is a topic, but we gonna get real spiritual. It is a holy day, so if you're not interested in getting on that level with it, I understand. I would just ask if you would just kick back. You know what I mean? Maybe fall out of the comment section for right now. Uh, you can double back when you want to, but the energy of this one is gonna be real spiritual. Uh, so just giving you that heads up. So if you was coming thinking it was gonna be me presenting some facts and evidence like that, it's not really. That's not really where we're going with it today. It's gonna be that, but I just wanted to let you know. Um, Peace, peace, peace. Thank you for tapping in. I'm feeling good, man. I just been reading up on the stuff here, and I'm just like blown away, really. So I was doing a lot of reflecting. First and foremost, I'm doing this class. I'm doing this video because I made the video just out of it was just on my heart. I said, man, I really want to get this out into the atmosphere. But um, I was rushed. I was on my lunch break, so I said, man, I really want to do one where I'm a little more comfortable, taking off my shoes. Um, some more time to really reflect on my perspective on it. You know what I mean? And could be more concise. A Moorish military. Rami says no, and here's why. Well, first, let me see some people tapping in. Let me try to holler at the people before I get started. John Davis, what's happening? Big Rojo, peace. Hebrew Stevens, Patrick Anders, uh, peace, peace, peace. Self-defense only. Yes, peace. The Black Panther Party for self-defense. See, most people don't understand that. They always cut it off with just the Black Panther Party, but it was for self-defense. Come on now. But all that, I'm getting, that's just the Oakland. Yeah, let me get focused. Moorish military. Rami says no. Here's why. One, I feel if we are to take an objective look at ourselves as a nation, if we were to put, if we were to write out a list of everything we needed for our nation, and we had to mark on that list what is priority number one, the top priority we need to establish across the board. Everyone needs to be on board with this task right now as of today. I personally feel it is not to establish a military. Who's the person in charge? Who's going to be given the authority? Who has the finance? Who has the training, the experience, the trust? As in like the trust of the people saying, yes, I trust that person to lead our military. Have we thought about any of those questions? Honestly, if we're really speaking on this objectively and in a real way, I don't think we have. And with just those simple things, there's no way we could establish a military. I think before any of that, we have to figure out who we are. Our nation still thinks, some of us still think we're black. Let me take it out of the military for a second. Let's take it to basketball. Shout out to my niece. I seen her play last week. She got the rebound, threw it right back up. Wrong hoop. Know what I'm saying? If we're a team and half of our team thinks they're playing for the black squad, we're the Moorish squad, but they think they're on the black squad, but they're with our team, and they shooting buckets for the black squad. Boom, and they money though, all stars. How we gonna win the game? First, we got to make sure our team is on the same page. No. We over here. You're not on that team. We on this team. This is our jersey. Right? First, does that make sense? Is that logical to me? Am I tripping? Because I think first that would be key. First, we got to make sure that we are all on the same page. We know who we are. Because we often say, we need to do this, we need to do that. But then I ask someone, who is we? Oh, well, the black people. Well, not everyone thinks that they're black. Oh, well, the African American. Not everyone thinks they're African Americans. People of color. Not everyone thinks they're people of color. So first, we need to make sure we understand who we are. And everybody on the same page. Hence why Noble Drew Ali, prophet, the universal prophet, said if you do nothing else, proclaim, declare your nationality. So that's my logic. But let me go deeper. Because I said I was going to get spiritual. And I was really thinking about this. And I was doing my prayer. And I said, wow. I said, right in front of your forehead, you didn't even mention it. Because a lot of people say, well, we need a Moorish military to protect us. Right? We need a Moorish military to protect ourselves. Right? Well, let's go through the prayer, shall we? Brothers and sisters, on this beautiful Friday. Can we do that? 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, Father of the universe, Mother of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah, you are our... Does it say Moorish military is our protector? Does it say Moorish army is our protector? Moorish navy? Moorish goon squad? Moorish gang? No, it says Allah is our protector. Allah is our God. Allah is our salvation. Come on now. Am I incorrect on this? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what'd that say? What'd that say right there? Come on, Moorish Americans. Come on now. Come on now. And I know. See, we getting deep now. We getting deep. Some people out there, I know you're thinking, well, that's just the spiritual. What about the physical self? What about, the physical? Right? You know what I mean? I feel you. So let's take it on. We getting into the studies, and I marked some pages, but we getting into some studies today. Holy Koran, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali. Let's open up the book, shall we please? I've been doing some rapping. You gotta excuse me. Chapter 3. Oh, that rhymed too. Chapter 3. Elihu's Lessons, the Unity of Life. I'm going to just read from the top, and then I'll stop when we get to the part where we got to get focused on. Again, Elihu met his pupils in the sacred grove and said, "No man live unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will love and not demand love in return. They will not do to other men what they would not have other men do unto them." Now we get into the part, because we got to protect ourselves. And I asked somebody, "Oh, what do you mean by self?" I got to protect myself. Well, what do you mean? What's self? There are two selves, the higher self and the lower self. The higher self is human spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah. The lower self, here we go. The lower self, the carnal self, that's the key. Carnal self, the body of desires, is a reflection of higher self, distorted by the murky ethers of the flesh. It says the murky ethers of the flesh, but let's focus on carnal self, okay? Because it says the lower self is the carnal self. Oh, man, let me get that page there. Now I got the dictionary. Got the dictionary ready for you, because I wanted to look up carnal just so I wasn't tripping. We're going to bring it on home. And we in the Oxford Dictionary. Cardiology, Carnival, Carmichael, Caribo, Carnate, Carnal. Where is that carnal at? There it is. Carnal, relating to physical. Okay. So the lower self is the physical self. And so when people saying they trying to protect myself, I'm trying to protect myself. Are you talking about your physical self as in your lower self? Or are you saying you want to protect your higher self? Which self we talking about? Because, the lower self is, it breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, war, military, murders. Yes, that's what war breeds. And war happens when human beings do it. Lower self. Theft and everything that harms. The lower self. The higher self is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life. So what self we talking about? We're getting real. We're getting real now. The only devil which men must be redeemed is self, the lower self. If man would find his devil, he must look within. His name is self. And if man will find his Savior, he must look within. And when the demon self has been dethroned, the Savior. Come on now. Hold on. I seen a couple things. Boom. Moors are not only leaders but friends with all nations. Indeed. Peace, 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 big Roll Joe, you coming through with him. I see some things. We're gonna get back into that in a second. Peace, peace, peace. Sam Sunni, peace, peace, peace. See, because I wanted to get to. Okay, yeah, boom. So, yeah, let me finish up in this one because we finna get deeper. So now we finna go to chapter 8. Yeah, we finna go to chapter 8. I was reading out of the Holy Koran. If you didn't know, we still in this one. We're going to chapter 8. Jesus reveals to the people of their sinful ways. Whoa now. We getting deep on this one. And we're coming on down to line 11. Appreciate y'all tapping in. And it says, when man honors man, he honors Allah. And what man does for man, he does for Allah. And you must bear in mind, not you should, not it'd be nice if you thought about it, but you must bear in mind that when man harms in thought or word or deed another man, he does a wrong to Allah. Bear that in mind. When you harm another man in thought, in word, or deed, you're doing wrong to Allah. Now this is not what Rami is saying. I'm reading out of the Quran. And from the Quran, when I read this, I say, well, to me that says you probably shouldn't harm any other person, because that's really doing a wrong to Allah. And war really harm a lot of people. Millions, billions of people. But this is the deeper part. And when I read this again, that's when I was like, oh man, I got to go live. If you would serve Allah, who speaks within the heart, just serve your near of kin and those who are no kin. So your kin is close to you and those that is no kin. The stranger at your gates. And the last part, it says, the foe cease to do you harm. If you would serve Allah, that's what it says to do. I didn't say this. Again, I'm reading out the Quran. Why would we be establishing a military? To do what? To do the foe that cease to do us harm, to do them harm? Because that's not what it says to do. Yeah, I know it's difficult. Yeah, we getting real. You're torn. For me, it's like, well, what do we do? Man, we getting deep though. We getting deep. And and I was talking earlier, because that was another thing. I meant to mention it earlier when I was talking about a military from a finance perspective. I was thinking about that's what it was, the defense budget. And I looked it up. Someone else, if you could look it up for me, so that way it's just not just coming from what I'm saying, but someone else can look it up. And if you could, just drop it in the comment section. But the U.S. Defense budget is supposed to be around $600 billion. Over $500 billion on defense, military defense. $500 billion. And I asked this question to myself, and I asked it to a friend a while ago, and it really has been getting to me, and I want to ask a politician this. Why don't we have a Department of Peace? And what do you think the budget for the Department of Peace should be? If the military budget is $500 billion, what should the Department of Peace budget be? And, and then I was thinking, like, why would I invest so much money into weapons and all of that? Why wouldn't I just invest into peace? Let's figure out a way how we can be together peacefully, because we all got to live on this earth together. Word of Yasin Bey. It's just a thought I had. Wondering if you guys ever thought about that. Anybody drop that comment in there? No? If anybody got the defense budget, just so you can verify. Somebody just hit the Google, boom, boom, slide it up in there. But wanted to get deeper. Wanted to get deeper on the spiritual thing real quick. And we going to, excuse this book, man. We falling apart right here. But the mysteries of the silent brotherhood of the East. It is the higher degrees for Circle 7 and questionnaire. It's kind of faded. Excuse me. But the resurrection of the Moorish nation. Northwest of Mexico, Northwest Africa, North America. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of the Moorish Divine and National Movement of the world. Not the city, of the world, Craig. Oh man, I lost the page. No, it's chapter 7. Okay, boom. Again, Elihu's lessons, man. Elihu was dropping them jewels, man. So we go into chapter 7. Some people may not have heard of this book or had this book. Basically, it's like a supplemental. It's like a if you're playing a video game, it's like a pack you buy. You know what I mean? An extra bonus pack you buy to unlock some levels, get some different, you know what I mean, colorways going on. You know what I mean? Some extra bonus. It's sort of like that, but it's just deeper lessons. It talks about when Jesus, and he's referred to as Joshua. It talks about when he was 7, when he's a young child. It talks about Joshua going through these different chambers and tests. But what we're going to focus on right here is this lesson that Elihu taught in the chapter. It's chapter 7. And it's, again, Elihu's lessons, the mysteries of Egypt. And I was like, wow, how deep is that? Because now you can't, you know what I mean? One time for the hoteps. I'm joking. Don't. I'm saying the combatants, my ancient Egyptian brothers and sisters, the people that connect with that part of our ancestry. This is the lessons of the mysteries of Egypt now. This is what the title says. Again, Elihu taught, he said, the Indian priests became corrupt. Brahm was forgotten in the streets. The rights of men were trampled in the dust. Ooh. And then a mighty master came, a Buddha of enlightenment, who turned away from wealth and all honors of the world, and who found the silence in the graves and caves, and he was blessed. He taught of the gospel of higher life, and taught men how to honor men. He had no doctrine of the gods to teach. He just knew men. So his creed was justice, love, and righteousness. I quote to you a few of many of the helpful words which Buddha spoke. This word gets deep right here now. Hate is a cruel word. If man hates you, regard it not. And I said, what does regard mean? You know what I mean? Because I have an idea, but I said, what does it actually mean? So we're going back to the dictionary. Once you start looking up words, man, things unlock. And my page already ready. Regard. Boom, right at the top. So again, if man hates you, regard it not. Regard, consider or think of, attention to or concern for something. So if a man hates you, regard it not. Give attention and concern to, do not give attention and concern to. And you can turn the hate of men to love and mercy and goodwill. This is not what I'm saying. This is what a Buddha said. You feel me? Mysteries of Egypt now. I'm just reading. I'm just delivering a message. Don't hate the messenger, please. Please. It's a cruel word. Mercy is as large as all the heavens, and there is good enough for all. With good, destroy the bad. With generous deeds, make avarice a shame. I said, what does avarice mean? Again, because I was like, I know it means something bad. You know what I mean? Because avarice is like if they're ashamed, they're not supposed to be shamed or whatever. So I said, let me look in the spell avarice. I may not even be pronouncing it right. Maybe avarice. It's Avarice. 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 That's why I just, Ava or Avarice. Maybe it's Avarice. That sounds about right. Avarice. I always put a little sauce on. Everest. Maybe it's Everest. I don't know. But anyways, the definition. Extreme greed for wealth or material gain. I'm going to read that one more time. Avarice is extreme greed for wealth or material gain. Avarice ashamed. The extremely greedy people. With generous deeds, you make them ashamed. Not getting in their face, not being hate, not being vicious to them. Generous deeds. Hey, man. With truth make straight the crooked lines that errors draw. For error is but truth distorted, gone astray. Again we go. Here we go. And pain will follow him who speaks or acts with evil thought, as does the wheel of the foot of him who draws the cart. This is, oh man, here we go. Here we go, right here. He is the greater man who conquers self than he who kills 1,000 men in war. The greater man, the greater Moorish American is the one who conquers self than the one that kills 1,000 in war. That's not what I said. Come on, man. Let me just put this on the record, man. Line 8 right there. See that right there? Line 8. He is the greater man. He is the greater man who conquers self than he who kills 1,000 men in war. My goodness. He is the nobleman who is himself what he believes that other men should be. Again, here we go. Here's the jewel right here. Return to him who does you wrong your purest love, and he will cease from doing wrong. For love will purify the heart of him who is beloved as truly as it purifies the heart of him who loves. The words of Buddha are recorded in the Indian sacred books. Attended them, for they are a part of the instructions of the holy breath. Come on, man. And you can double back in here, and it has so many mentions about the holy breath in here. Matter of fact, what did it say? This is chapter 2. Teach that the holy breath would make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. Come on now. So those Buddha lessons, we're supposed to attend at them because they are part of the holy breath. And the holy breath, as it says in chapter 2 of the Holy Koran, the holy breath will make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. And what happened? You got to teach them that Allah and man are one, but through carnal thoughts, physical thoughts, and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself from our physical thoughts, words, and deeds. That's how we tore ourselves away from Allah. Come on, man. Man, what y'all think about that? Let me see what's going on. Defense, oh, thank you. Saw the deal. Defense spending in the budget for the U.S. is 598.5 billion. 600, you know what I mean? Round that thing on, you know what I mean? And that's official on the budgets. That's just on the books. Who knows what's going on, backdoor deals, and you know what I mean? And you know, I know it's some government people watching, you know what I mean? Or you know somebody that's working in a government agency, something like that. You know people go over budget all the time. Right? You don't think the US military going over budget on some things? Come on now. Imagine if we had 300 billion for a Department of Peace. I would want to work. I would definitely sign up to work for the Department of Peace. If they have positions where you were to just go out and create peace in the community. That's what your job is. You get paid $30 an hour, $40 an hour, depending on where. Maybe if you live in a very a dangerous community, maybe you're getting paid 70 an hour to create peace. Would you want that job? Would you take that position? Just thought. Got to change our thoughts, change our words, and change our actions. That's how it happens. How can I join? Yeah, you already in. Yeah, yeah, Omar Ali 13. Word. Um, I don't. In terms of joining, I would just say to begin reading on your own. You know what I mean? That's my advice is to just read this information on your own, um, and start building with people that are like minded. You know what I mean? Or that are interested in learning about more science in the Quran. Maybe they're not in the temple, but you can still talk to them, or they don't have to. They don't even have to be quote unquote Moorish. They don't have to be quote unquote black. Um, for you to talk to them about this. You know what I mean? You could build about this with whoever and whomever, whatever. Um, to be more official in terms of the temple, I personally don't try to recommend anyone to any specific temple, um, just because there's a lot of issues with the temple at the current moment in terms of like administrative things and functions. Um, so that's difficult. You know what I mean? Just being real with you. Peace, peace, peace. Was there any other questions? If not, I can dip out of here. I really wanted to cover that. Oh, I did want to say I want to go back up. Peace will avail. Happy holy day. United Nations Ambassador, Zimic Paralegal. Peace, peace, Matthew. Siddhartha Gautama. Yeah, that's the name of Buddha. One time, and his Buddha's the story of Buddha. If you haven't studied that, you should check it out. Really interesting story. Hmm. Yeah. Do you have a temple in North Carolina? I think that's what you said. Um, I don't know. I'm not from North Carolina, so I wouldn't know. Um, I respect your understanding, but I feel religion is what's holding my people back. What's holding our my people back. Young Geechee Black, peace, Young Geechee Black. Um, when you say our my people, what do you who are you speaking about? Who is our people? Yeah, it's all good. We can ask off top, but I said what I wanted to say in terms of that. Um, our people, and um, what do you mean by religion? Do you mean what I was just reading? Because if that's what you mean, I don't think most people, most quote unquote black people, have read, some of the stuff I just read. In my humble opinion. Peace, Marcus Hopkins. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Doing what I can. Yeah, Young Geechee Black, let me know what you're speaking on. Northern California, Oakland, be exact. Learn my laws. I would say study the Constitution, the divine Constitution and bylaws. Um, the divine Constitution and bylaws. And it has the questionnaire and additional laws. I would say to study this. I would say to study the Constitution for the United States of America. I would say to study your state constitution. I would say to study the United Nations Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People and the United Nations Declaration for Human Rights. I would say to study all of that. I would say also, if you really want to get in depth, study the organized American states legal documents. They had one, I haven't looked that up in a couple of years now, but they had one that they were working on for indigenous people, but I don't know if it was ever solidified and put out for real, for real. Ooh, we 311. All right. Any other questions? Okay, cool. I've been reading a little Clock of Destiny material. What is your measure on that organization? I don't know. And that's a broad question. What do you mean by my measure? Like, what do I think of the organization as a whole? Is that's what you mean in general? It's good that someone was continuing to show the connection to our Moorish ancestry. Um, but I haven't put too much. I haven't put too much energy into studying the Clock of Destiny like that. So I couldn't tell you too much in depth. The Zodiac Constitution is cool, but you know, how about let's just focus on the Constitution for the United States of America? You know what I mean? Or the treaty. Oh, also study treaties. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship. To the brother who was asking it, the person who was asking about law. I don't know if you're a brother. Um, yeah. So I guess that's my measure on the Clock of Destiny. I don't know what's the deal with the Oakland Temple or um, most temples. I think that to get clarity on the temples, Jonathan Scott Bay, you would need to Supreme Grand Council. You want to look for clarity on which temple to join, highlight the Supreme Grand Council. If you're asking what's that, well, you should go hit the Google, or here you go to YouTube, go to my channel, just type in Supreme Grand Council. Several videos will come up. Watch it, roll from there. You know what I mean? That's where you get the clarity. Who is we, young Geechee Black? Or did you say that already? Yeah, I didn't see you say who is we. You saying we've been miseducated and manipulated by religion. Who is we? And religion didn't miseducate anyone or manipulate anyone. People manipulated and miseducated people. May have used religion, but religion itself is not, it's not a thing that was doing something. People use the tech. No different than the people that use the Holy Koran Circle 7 right now. It's people out there with the fez or the turban saying Islam, calling themselves sheiks and, whatever kind of name, whatever kind of title they want to give themselves, and are manipulating people right now to join, their own different kind of organizations, to be in temples that aren't following what Noble Drew Ali established, but whatever this person wants, because they're using the text to manipulate people. But it's not the text's fault. You can't put the blame on the text. You put the blame on the people and their actions, rather. Sir Kushalat, find those sources on the internet. Yes, you can find all of those sources on the internet, all for free, or the library, or you should. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure what state or city or town you're in, but hopefully they'll be at the library. But you can, if you're on live watching, pretty sure you have some sort of decent internet service, phone. Just hit the Google and start looking it up. It's all there. The treaties too. There's plenty of websites that have the treaties for you to read. Uh, let me see. Are you part of affiliated with any temple? Yeah, the Moorish Science Temple of America. Islam. Moorish American. You feel me? It's just we got to do some cleaning. All right. No, I haven't. I haven't. Omar Ali, but that's good. Yeah, I gotta give that. That's that was actually like an inside joke, but it's really kind of honors to Malcolm Shabazz, Malcolm X's El Haj Malik El Shabaz's grandson. It's a video, and he's speaking on his time when he traveled to Mecca, and he was in a room with a bunch of Muslims, and there was some Sunnis and there was some Shias, and they said one of them asked him, the room was real tense. He said one of them asked him, said, "Brother, are you Sunni or you Shia?" Everybody looking, seeing what he gonna say, and he said, "Brother, I'm a Muslim." I said, "Mashallah, mashallah." You know what I mean? I said, "Oh man, that's a good answer right there." You feel me? We gotta really we gotta elevate. We gotta elevate. But I could imagine that was kind of intense. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't know, the political happenings, within the Muslim community, there's different groups, Shias and Sunni being like, two major parts of Muslims. I don't even want to frame it like that, but that's kind of what's happening, like two groupings of Muslims. And it can get really intense between Sunnis and Shias. So for him to get asked that, it's like, being in, I could almost relate to it being in prison, and someone saying, "Are you blood or you Crip?" You know what I mean? And it's like, and it's Bloods and Crips right there. What you gonna say? You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm a black man. You know what I mean? Why not? You know what I mean? I say I'm a Moorish American, Muslim, Islam brothers. You know what I mean? That's why I'll probably say. Uh, peace, peace, peace. Um, yeah, Juel, I don't support or promote the idea of consular courts. Um, I personally, my opinion, it would stay far away from that as the focus of what Moors need to be doing right now. I would be very cautious of the people that are establishing groups, um, that are establishing other entities and trying to. They hit me with the ooh wah, but we back though. They hit me with the ooh wah, but we back. Uh, but I would just be very cautious to sum it up. I don't push the consular court, Moorish American consulate, ideology group, none of that at all. And I personally would stay, keep my distance from it. You know what I mean? Until someone can show me where Noble Drew Ali said, we need to establish a Moorish American consulate. If you can show me that, then I'm rocking with you. If not, then, peace be unto you. To you be your way. To me be Drew Ali's way. That's who I'm rocking with. That's who I'm following. That's the leader. You know what I mean? That's how. Fahim Al. Well, you do need a police force like the FOI in the Nation of Islam. Mm, here's the thing. My honest opinion is that I think that at least for some point we do need some sort of defense uh, service, some sort of um, peace officers. I don't want to say police officers, but I understand the concept. I do agree. I do not feel that that is our priority. This is the thing that I think people are not really catching is that I'm not saying, by me saying, no, we don't need to focus on the Moorish military right now, that's me saying the extreme opposite. Okay, you can just let anyone kill you and murder and rape. That's not what I'm saying at all. Nor am I saying that there's absolutely no place and there's no reason at all that we could ever need some sort of defense force. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that our focus, our priority, our number one thing we need to be doing as a nation isn't establishing a military or a police force because we don't even know who we are. This is what I'm saying. We need to educate ourselves first. We can't even begin to strategize and come up with different strategies because we don't know who we are. We still get grouped into some sort of group like the organization like the Nation of Islam or Hebrew Israelites or um, Muslims, and it's not a religion. It's not an organization. Us being Moorish American is our identity, and we don't understand that as a collective of people. So that should be our priority. And I'm basing that off of what Noble Drew Ali said. If you do nothing else, proclaim your nationality. It's very simple to me. But I feel you. You know, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just you know, showing you my perspective. I see your perspective and I understand people's perspective, you know, and that's another thing. Let me say that. Most of a lot of people that talk on the internet, you know, I need to defend me and my family. Man, you're jibber jabbing. You're talking. You know what I mean? If you're talking about, yeah, I'm gonna be clipped out, be AR, man. If you're already doing that on live, you silly. Come on, man. Less talking and more walking. If you was really about it, the people that I know that were really about it, they don't really talk about it as much. They're just about it. It's kind of that simple. Robert Dickens. Um, I made some videos that you can check out that has my perspective, more in-depth perspective on the Moorish American consulate. Just hit Moorish American Consulate, IAMHH Temple, or just go through the recent videos. It's right up there. Where. Do you think? Do you think they need to have a declaration to have a war on our people? Because last time I checked, we die every day. But at the end of the day, it's not money, it's power. Power is an illusion, young Geechee Black. And I still didn't see you let me know who we are. You know what I mean, young Geechee Black. Say we die every day. People die every day. So what are we really saying? Are we at war with ourselves? Yes, I do agree. If that's what you're saying, I do agree. And we need to have peace with ourselves. I do agree. If that's what you're saying. But if you make it up the imaginary they and the imaginary we, I can't really rock with that. We got to be more specific. Who are we talking about? Who is the they? Let's get out of the spookiness. Who are you talking about? Moses Al Farouk Bey. Some of us like to talk and back it up with action. Got one thing I just want to share with you, brother. I'll find it. The pride of emptiness is an abomination, and to talk much is the foolishness of folly. Nevertheless, it is a part of wisdom to hear with patience their impertinence and to pity their absurdity. Holy instructions of unity. Holy Koran. Moors of the we. I don't see very many articles at all of Moors specifically being murdered. I don't. I see a lot of articles, a lot of news reports, a lot of video footage, a lot of documentation of African Americans, black people people of color being murdered, being killed. Not Moorish Americans, not Moors, not Moorish people. This is a fact. And us calling ourselves black is a big problem. I guess it's like a gigantic problem for us as a people, as Moors. And we have to realize that. I didn't say that they weren't Moorish people, to be clear. You said they are Moorish people. Yeah, but our Moorish brothers and sisters that identify as black, they are now identified and are treated as black people, which are Negroes, which are slaves in the U.S. That's how they're treated. We are treated. Let me not say they. That's how we are treated. We are treated as slaves. African Americans, people of color, colored people, black Americans, blacks, people of color, I say, yeah, all of that. Negro, um, all of those identities, you know what I mean? All of those identities connect you back to being treated and being treated and handled as a slave, enslaved person. But we coming up on the hour mark. I think I said everything I wanted to say in terms of the war stuff, the Moorish military stuff. It shouldn't be the focus, and it doesn't really help you in the long run. I read a lot. That's what I did want to say. That let me end with that. That I really want us to think about when we say we want to protect ourselves. What self are we talking about? Which self are you prioritizing? Are you prioritizing your lower self over your higher self? Because the higher self doesn't pass away. So understand, if we're thinking about protecting our lower self before our higher self, establishing a military, killing thousands of people, excuse me, understand that when our lower self passes away, our higher self, we still will have to live with that. Killing thousands and millions of people, causing harm to millions of people, doing millions of wrongs to Allah, as I read earlier from the Quran. So are we really protecting ourselves with a military? What is the goal? Is the goal with war? Is that our goal? We supposed to be following after the Europeans and how they do things? Have you considered a society where there is no military, where there is no war? Have you really thought about that? Really reflected, is that a possibility? Can I see what that society looks like? Have you even just imagined, is that real, or do you always just dismiss it? Oh, that'll never happen. There'll always be war. If that's how you think and that's how you feel, all right. You know what I mean? A wise quote that I always tell my children, um, that those that say that they can and those that say that they can't are both usually right. So I choose to think and speak and feel that we can reach a point where there is peace on earth, where there is no need for military because there is no war, because we're not killing each other. I truly feel that there is that place on earth, that way of life in a future that's not, 5,000 years off. I don't think it's unrealistic. I don't think it's even quote unquote utopian. I think it's no different than a person that believes that there'll always be war. I don't choose to believe that. Why is Why is it so easy to believe that there'll always be war, but it's so difficult to think that there could be a time when there isn't war? Just something I've been thinking about. Yeah, I feel you, Nova Akil. Let's talk about Trump and the Democrats or not. That's a great. Yeah, I will talk on that, man. What time? I'm gonna get you. Ah, man. See, with Moors, man, always be going longer and talking longer than we supposed to. Before I got live, keeping it real moment. Before I got live, I said I'm doing 30 minutes and I'm hopping off. I'm making me something to eat. Look up at the clock. It's an hour long. And I still we got to get into this real quick because that was a great question. Um, Trump and the Democrats. We Moorish Americans have to be involved in politics. Plain and simple. And shout out to I have to learn her name. The sister AOC. Somebody please type it in. But that sister is amazing. She asks, you have to pay attention to the questions people ask because that really shows their intention and what you can learn a lot about people from the questions that they ask, the answers, but also the questions. And she's just an amazing person and really inspired me to be, I need to be more active because she is revolutionary, like live in an action. Um, and so, my response or my idea on how we deal with or how we change things or direction from Trump is to be active, to be in the game. Can't sit on the sidelines. It's just that simple. And be just as revolutionary and as bold and as truthful as AOC has been. Robert Dickens. Why Moorish American instead of just American? If you know history, why do we need to add the more like? Robert Dickens. What's your nationality, by the way? But the question of why Moorish American comes from the questionnaire. It says, I'll read a couple questions. It's the Koran questions for Moorish Americans, the 101s. Um, where was Noble Drew Ali born? In the state of North Carolina, 1886. What is his nationality? Moorish American. What is your nationality? Moorish American. Why are we Moorish American? Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. That's why we're Moorish American. It's just that simple. And if you think about it, we couldn't, us saying that we were quote unquote Moroccan Americans would confuse things because there's actually people from Morocco, that identify with the nationality of Moroccan that also come to America or quote unquote to the U.S. Excuse me, that we often refer to as America, and so then they become quote unquote Moroccan Americans. So it will be a conflict. I'm like, wow, that's pretty ingenious, and also it couldn't be just American because America is a continent or two, North and South America. So just saying you're American that doesn't specify. Venezuelans are Americans. Shout out to the Venezuelans out there. Um, yeah. Mm. Joel, until we get back into building our nation and trading with other nations, I feel that. Yeah. All right. I think that is it. I really appreciate y'all tapping in. Appreciate the questions, the commentary, the thoughts. And you know what? I really appreciate the positive vibes. It really was not anybody coming in with, you know, you know what it is. So thank you. You know what I mean? I really appreciate that. Cause it is it sometimes get kind of frustrating because for me, I personally like to focus more on the spiritual stuff about this movement, the divine side of this movement. But um oftentimes, man, it's a lot of like energy